Huskies will be back in action on December 7th when they travel to Storm Lake, Iowa to take on Buena Vista University. In this match, they will be seeking their 43rd consecutive dual match win. The St. Cloud State women's volleyball team has been ranked in the top 25 for 4 straight weeks, the first time that's happened since 1996. So what makes this team so different?
They put in a lot of extra time and commitment over the summer. This past summer is the first time our women have really dedicated themselves over the summer to strength and conditioning. They played together, they lifted together, stayed in St. Cloud.
One reason for this team's success is the energy on the team is a lot different than it's been in previous years.
The biggest difference from this year as opposed to other years is just we know that we can win. We have a winning attitude.
Being in one of the toughest conferences, it is important for this team to stay focused every weekend.
We have a lot of teams in our conference in the top 25, and that just means that we can't take any weekends off. We have to prepare every week.
We play more head first, and we can't overlook any games like that because last year they beat us, and so we need to focus on one game at a time and not looking towards our tougher opponents.
I think it's going to be key for us to be consistent.
This team loves playing in front of the home crowd.
It's definitely an advantage being on the home court, having our fans there to support us. We have to bring our own energy when we're on the road.
It's really fun to play at home. We love the support that our fans bring and other student athletes, especially the student athlete community is really good at supporting each other at different events.
Well, the gym may be quiet right now, but the Huskies will be back in action this weekend when they take on the University of Minnesota State Moorhead and Northern State University right here in Hollenbeck Hall, a place where the Huskies are undefeated so far this season. Reporting for UTVS News, I'm Jack Beanick. The St. Cloud State women's soccer team set a record for most conference wins in a single season, and we're also second all-time in overall wins in a single season. So what made this team so successful?
Preseason and Captain's Week, we bonded as a team a lot, which then that adapted into practice, just honestly getting to know each other more and being more comfortable and trustworthy with each other on the field.
Every game we would reflect on our strengths, our weaknesses, and how we were going to improve as a team and as individuals.
The Huskies tied their record for most shutouts in a season, and everyone played a role in helping with that.
It was definitely the front 4 in front of me and then the front 6 in front of them that were the first line of defense, from our forwards all the way back to our defense. That's where it started.
And as for offense, it was a similar story.
As long as we're all working together to defend and attack together, we can get goals pretty quickly and get ahead early in the game.
Both Zoe and Claire received all NSIC honors and said it wouldn't be possible without everyone around them.
If it weren't for my teammates, that wouldn't have been able to happen. And it's just nice actually being a part of a team that's super supportive and everyone's there for each other.
It's not just me. I'm there because the entire team is there, and our entire team should be recognized in the conference because we are a good team, and without my team I would not have received any of the awards that I received.
This season may be over, but the Huskies will be looking to be just as successful next season.
Just having that mindset for each game, that 3 points is what we're aimed for each game in a 6-point weekend.
Reporting for UTVS News, I'm Jack Beanick. The first 4 tipped off yesterday with Fairleigh Dickinson taking on Prairie View A&M. Fairleigh Dickinson, winners of a Northern Conference, with Prairie View A&M winning the SWAC, and it was Prairie View A&M early. Up by 13 with that 3, and Coach Greg Horrenda not happy with his team, but then it's Jaleel Jenkins, the guard, taking over, driving to the basket, getting the bucket and the foul, and then later in the second half, another bucket that would tie the game at 59, and Greg Horrenda happy with that. And Jaleel Jenkins was not done. Step back 3, knocking it down. That would give Fairleigh Dickinson the lead, and they win their first ever NCAA tournament game, 82-76. They advance to take on Gonzaga tomorrow in the round of 64. The Minnesota Twins were in action last night in the first game of a 3-game set against the White Sox. Magic number was 9 going into the game for the Twins. It did not start well. James McCann drives this one deep to left center field, and it just barely gets out. White Sox take a 2-0 lead early. Second inning, Nelson Cruz grounds one through the infield. Marwin Gonzalez comes around from second to score, tying the game up. The Twins would not get their first lead in this one until the 5th inning as Mitch Garver drives this one deep to right field. It would not get out, but it would be off a base of the wall, scoring Jorge Polanco easily. 3-2 Twins. And then Luis Arraez, his third hit of the game, gets past Yoan Moncada. 2 runs would score. The Twins take a 5-2 lead. The White Sox would get 1 run back, but it would not be enough as the Twins take this one by a final score of 5-3. The magic number is now 8 for the Minnesota Twins as they are 5 games up on the Cleveland Indians. Now going to the pool where the St. Cloud State women's swim and dive team is in action at the NSIC Championships. The championships are being held in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Midco Aquatic Center. They began this morning and will conclude on February 16th. Tickets are $15 for a day pass and $8 per session. And for students, they're $10 for a day pass and $5 per session. The Huskies are looking to continue on their successful performances in the past 2 seasons as they took second last year and won the NSIC title in 2017. Tune into UTVS News tomorrow and Monday for updates on how the Huskies fared. On Friday, Becker football was taking on Ricori. Both these teams top 10 in the state, and this was a wild one. In the fourth quarter here, it's Tucker Hawkinson with a big reception for Ricori, getting them into Becker territory. But that drive would stall out there. Then the ensuing possession for Becker, they had a big pass play negated by holding. They were forced to punt, pinning Ricori deep. So Ricori down by 2, the duty is simple. Have a big drive, get into field goal range, and set up hopefully a game-winning field goal, and it started with this. Tucker Hawkinson, another big reception, getting into Becker territory. A few plays later, it's the quarterback, Jack Steele, finding Andrew Anderson over the middle, who gets down. Ricori is able to get to the line, spike it, set up a game-winning field goal attempt for Christian Rodriguez, and yeah, that one never had a chance. Wide right, Ricori falls to Becker, 14-12, Becker improves to 5-1 on the season.
I know I'm really excited for the teams that are playing pretty well here on the campus. What are some of the teams that have surprised you this season?
Well, yeah, the volleyball team is doing really good. They've been ranked a bunch pretty much throughout the entire season, and then the hockey team just got their first win of the season. So we're going to get into it, starting with the volleyball team that are once again ranked in the top 25. This is a 7th straight week that they have been ranked. They moved up to number 11 after beating Southwest Minnesota State and the University of Sioux Falls over the weekend. They moved up from their previous ranking on number 13. There are 8 NSIC teams ranked in the top 25 this week, and the Huskies will be back in action on Thursday when they take on number 5 Minnesota Duluth and Hollenbeck Hall, and then again on Saturday when they head to Bemidji to take on Bemidji State. I really like Kentucky because their young guys, Tyrese Maxey just went off for 26 points against Michigan State, and then guys like Emmanuel Quickly, Ashton Hagens. This is a Kentucky team, I think, that had some worry going into the season with Tyler Hero being gone, P.J. Washington being gone. But Kentucky, despite the game being close against Michigan State, Kentucky controlled this game from beginning to end. The only times they trailed in this game were in the first 2 minutes. They were down 2-0 and down 4-3 as well. But the rest of the game they led. And although Michigan State made it close, to lead the number 1 team in the nation basically from beginning to end and be in control of that game is very impressive. I mean, you see a lot of lead changes. When 2 top 10 teams play against each other, it's usually a lot of lead changes, a lot of ties. Well, the Vikings are good enough to where players like Stephon Diggs have expectations for this team. And that's why the frustration has set in, because when you expect to be winning games and you start out the season 0-2 in your division, most of the reason you've won 3 games is because of your running back and you're a receiver who's not getting touches because Kirk Cousins is playing bad. That's a problem. I mean, he has expectations for Kirk Cousins and has every right to be upset. Here's the thing with Auburn. Bo Nix is very good. He had a big win against Oregon. He played well against Texas A&M, played well against Mississippi State, but he's a freshman. You're going into the swamp, one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. This is going to be the toughest environment he's played in his college career. I expect Florida to bring a lot of pressure, show a lot of blitz packages, and put the pressure on Bo Nix. I don't see Bo Nix being able to handle that. It's just going to be too much pressure.